Hello and welcome back to Ankford Place. So, we're at this thing. Just minding your own business, eh? An elf idles by the roll, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cult figure standing near him falls silence.
Greetings.
Places, you've just come from the village, have you? How bad was it? How bad was what? Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose. Said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children when her own was hollow-born. We've called all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. She's here? She's hiding out in the village. We're going after her ourselves. Problem is, she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming. We would like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. Her name's Nifri. She's an Orlan. We want to get her out of town so we can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her it's safe to leave, I could draw her out. She won't know you. It's simple. What did Nifri do exactly? She was responsible for the murder of all those babies in Defiance Bay. Remember? Terrible thing, but we'll make her pay, alright.
Good day to you.
I'm also looking for a woman named Alice Harron. Have you seen her? Afraid not. Just been watching for Nifri. Okay. We find Lady Alice, escort her to the Dragon Inn with all haste. Okay. Let's see. Nifri. Where would she be? Can't remember the last time we had a healthy birth in the village.
Gods keep you.
Tell me again about the dragon egg. How did you get burned? By the flame? How bad does it look? Just say and it looks like it hurts. That's a mighty soft way of pursing it. I'm looking for an Orlan named Nifri. I did see an Orlan lady headed into the dragon again just the other day. Don't know what her name was, but she's acting real sneaky like. What's wrong with the roads? Brigands, looters, you name it. The gods may be hollowing out our babies, but it's grown folk that's robbing the rest of us. A middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in brown leather cloth draped down to her knees. Her hands are separated in stringy, colorless vegetables in the pile before her, striking the heads off before fibers strength with a paring knife. She doesn't greet you as you approach. You're not sure she even knows you're there. Excuse me? Studied the woman. At first glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged woman. Unremarkable, maybe less stern than most, who seems more focused on the weaving in her lap than her surroundings. Yet you suddenly notice she's not stripping the vegetables before her anymore. She's weaving, and the vegetable pots are now missing. She's still patient of mind. Her brown locks torn and snagged from the lack of washing, like many of the townsfolk you've seen. There's a strange blur to her. Even the motion of her hands seems to be playing with threads that lack color, and a shape that lacks interest. It may be that she is half-minded or deaf, but something feels wrong. As you watch her knitting text an odd cadence, you have a terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. Brown hair is almost impossible. Her brown hair is long, almost impossible to the length of her hands. As you follow the streams of her locks downwards, the hair becomes long and black, splitting off into threads of black and silver, and wrapping around her hands. She's forming a soul cradle with the threads, braiding a net in front of you, each finger long and sharp like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair weaved together with silver predominating as highlight, the black shadowing it. And suddenly you're calm. You're on a plateau, almost the height of a tower several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding in all directions, a forest, hazy with mist, although whether it is actual mist or distance, or a recollection. Resting in the curve of natural arc above you is a great copper bell, half against the size of a man, hanging at attention, as if looking down on you and the event unfolding before you. The plateau is soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body, your physical contours have changed along with surroundings. And you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts, like mist rolling softly into a sealed chamber. And, focus on chimes, chime coaxes you deeper into the memory, and you're certain it's a memory, a warm one. You're on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering like Adra. The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrist, your hands. Your hands are in motion, weaving, not fret, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of Bera's wheel. Your hands are wet. Your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you feel the grounding of a tiny head, turning in your grip, its head slick, wet from the womb. The hands you're wearing, inhabiting, have done this many times, and they are practiced and confident. You can feel distant pain to your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the wound, helping the newborn slide forth, and a woman's labored breathing crying out. Focus on the child. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close, and they are meant as a comfort. Of that you are certain. And coaxed by your hands, every movement causing the chimes to sound again, almost eagerly the child comes forth, and at doors your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of a soft, wet robe. No, an umbilical cord from the legs of the naked woman before you, holding a small child still wet from the womb before you. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you were weaving a soul from within a soul, but it's there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry her hands reach out for it. You surrender the child to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your wrists. And where once they echoed in memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, a soothing sound guided by the tender motions of your wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, its perceptions, and the experience. The woman laughs with ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of her labor have left her exhausted. But the child is here. The child is safe. And all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant flattening out as the memory persists. With effort, the scene bleeds of color, and your mind becomes your own again. There's no pull, no anger, yet the sound of the chimes remains. As they existed in the memory, they sound here as well. They're hanging from woven braids on the wrist of the woman before you. Even as your head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sound of the chimes on her wrist is sharp and clear, as if coaxing you back to the real world. The woman still sits before you, but she's nothing like what you foresaw. She's wearing black threaded garments that drape over her form like streamers. Her hair is streaks of black and run through her silver. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumbled watchtower. As she lifts her face to you, you see that her hair drapes across the front of her face like a veil. When you first saw of her was a mental clamor of some sort, unconscious, and you realize what you see is not what the world sees, and you're perhaps the first to see her true self. Still, you don't sense a threat in the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad to at last be seen. What was that?
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You were the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
The slight touch upon your mind, a caress, and her left hand mirrors the motion of the touch, reaching up to the air between you. You hear the chime on her wrist softly. Her hand moves as if pantomiming, resting on your cheek at a distance, and she speaks softly and slowly.
Your memories. The cadence of wheels on a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire. Arrows in the dark. And fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone. And a storm. The storm. The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
I encountered a bivouac, as it did something to me. Her hand withdraws shyly, the chime sounding softly once again. The woman stands uncertainly as if she has been sitting for some time or is too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt, yet her stance is weak. She seems determined to stand before you.
You are able to see me.
It's almost a question. You suddenly realize that she doesn't know what you saw when you looked at her. The image on the plateau. Yet the image was so clear, so sharp, you're surprised she didn't feel you there.
To see me is a rare gift. A watcher's gift.
I've never been able to do that with a living person except with you.
So many questions, thoughts, whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet muted and secret, like an underground river. I cannot tell if it is carving new channels, or eroding what keeps your true strength buried. The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
There's silence, and although it seems to be but a heartbeat in your thoughts, it stretches out between the two of you like a pull between your minds. You blink, take a breath, and then you realize she wants you to ask you a question, yet can't form the words. Take a breath and then realize you want, as if assembling them is painful or there are simply not enough pieces. Do you wish to travel with me? You feel aware of fear, gusset with strength or relief, although oddly her expression does not change. Then fear dissipates and you feel strength and certainty, as if the plateau from her memory lies beneath you and a calm sky looks down upon you. Whoa! Hey! New guy! Girl, lady. Grieving mother. She's a cipher. Okay.
May Wal watch your step.
Thank you, Herias. Cool. Cool. Maybe we should, like... I don't know what her powers is. I wish I could right click her and get her powers in. Wish I could have more than 6 people now. Like, this is the same with every RPG. Like, I wish I could have all of them with me. I need my healer. I need my...
Farewell.
Thank you, Alof. Good. Learn of the grieving mother's past. Oh, hey! Survival, stealth, athletics. Swift aim. The ranger gets into a speedy and fluid offensive rhythm, reducing accuracy but increasing fire rate. I guess it's a status effect she can activate.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, cool. So she has a fine dagger. Rundle's Finery. Do I have a find something that can give her? Or can I enchant it? I can give it more damage. Okay. Gonna give her this because it's better. What this do I have? Nope, I do not. Okay. What about extra stuff? Do I have extra stuff? I can give a crested hat. Does this give damage resistance? Not really. I wish helms gave damage resistance instead of just being extra shit. Fine stiletto. Okay.
Indeed. Your mind comes bearing questions, Watcher.
I had a question for you. You addressed me as Watcher when we met. Do you know what a Watcher is?
The title came unbidden. I do not know why I spoke of it. Yet it seemed the right mantle. A familiar one.
Yet I do not know from where it came. If I have given offense, oddly enough it feels like she's not speaking to you. It feels like she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, a chill which persists for a short moment, facing to a deal fear. If I have given offense, please forgive me. Forgive me. You would know more than I. Have you encountered Watchers before? I do not know. It is an old feeling. I do not know where it stems from. It was a word that arose when you saw me. It is said Watchers see much that others do not, and I have been hidden from the eyes of others for some time. How is it no one can see you?
Their eyes see, but their minds will not remember past the call.
A call?
My face is like the call of a newborn, hiding the face beneath. And for my body, I am able to wrap myself as a mother cradling her child. I am here, as you see me, but to them, their eyes see only the cloak that I wear. A peasant mother, dirty, shabby, not worth knowing. As a watcher, you see more than others. To the eyes of most, I am as unseen as the spirits you share memories with.
How are you able to affect minds? And with the flow from the senses down a different path to a place easily forgotten, it is not unwelcome when one does not desire the presence of others. The surface of their minds register a figure, but memory slips away. They see a woman, but there is no desire for conversation, no desire for any questions. And I have none to ask. To discuss something different. When first met, how was I able to enter your dream?
I do not know. What do you speak of? If you were in my thoughts, I could not feel your presence, nor do I know what you saw there. As you speak, you suddenly feel an odd sensation in your mind, like the blood of the hunt welling up in you. Suddenly realize that whether she permits it or not, you could enter her dream and observe it without her ever knowing.
There's something about her mind, like a weapons rack, where you could reach in and draw forth a blade if you wished and keep it your own. Suddenly you find yourself back in her, your present thoughts, though you were away for but a moment. She seems unaware of your division of thought. Maybe one of your gifts, an ability to walk in memories as easily as someone walks upon the ground. Perhaps you'd like to hear what I saw in your memories. She raises her left hand, the charm in her wrist, quelling the rise within her. She is frightened, but curiosity anchors her.
And what did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
I saw you help give birth to a child. There's silence, and as your breath falls still, you hear this faint cry of a child in the distance. Newborn child, almost exactly like what you heard in the dream. As you listen, the grieving mother raises both her hands as if weaving, her wrists chiming as she does so, and the semblance of the gentle turning she provides that while the newborn was crowning. To your surprise, you recognize the motions and the words from the memory, even as they are new to you. As she weaves her hands through the air in front of her, the child's cries grow still, yet the sound of the chimes weaves almost hypnotically into your thoughts. The sky seems sharp and clear, and you feel as if you're towering over your surroundings, as if kneeling atop a great pillar, just as she did in the memory. To your surprise, the grieving mother falls as if her strings were caught, and her knees crack hard against the ground. Her hands never cease moving in the air, chimes echoing her movements. In a ragged voice you hear her speak. The voice is that of a much elder woman, the one before you, harsh, almost desperate.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
A mountain ledge, I think. It was high up. Snow, I think. With a slow intake of breath, you feel time become quiet around you. I do not feel the memory. I do not know if it's mine, but thank you for trying. It's no matter. Let us continue on. Okay. Thank you for watching this episode of Ankford Plays. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you join next time for more shenanigans. Until then, bye!